What do patients normally come with when it comes to trauma?
If someone is suffering mentally and emotionally and they would want to speak about it, so it is said कि no, हमारे घर में नहीं होता ये.
I have begun therapy. Yes, मैं दिमाग के डॉक्टर के पास जा रही हूँ. तो अगर आप मेरे पीठ पीछे मुझे पागल बनाने वाले, just say it to me right now. Sit on my face. Come on, sit. Sit. I'm crazy. Cuckoo.
Because the society does not accept it, mental illnesses are still looked as a taboo.
You should be able to talk openly about it.
रखा है ये so childish. इससे अच्छा बेहतर एडवाइस तो फोन पे सर्च मारूंगा मिल जाएगा मुझे.
So a people pleaser will, till they have realized what is wrong with them, they will continuously start attracting one narcissist after the other.
Being yourself is like not changing yourself to impress someone else. By the way, I like your shirt a lot. It's like so cool. What?
What is her trauma? It is unimaginable. If given a chance, she might want to kill the husband. People get into a lot of toxic patterns of relationship.
He's been annoying, actually.
What is that?
What?
That thing that you're doing, it's like you disappear.
What?
What are you not telling me?
Nothing.
Tell me what's going on underneath there.
Nothing.
Tell me, come on,
No.
you can tell me.
Nothing.
I deal with hardcore addicts.
What kind of addicts?
To start with, alcohol, cannabis, opioid, then also MDMA, methadone. So a study was done and 1 year follow-up was done. So it was found that 1 year of antidepressant therapy is equivalent to 2 sessions of taking those magic mushrooms.
2 sessions of.
What are those?
Kind of looks like food.
I don't know.
Look at that.
Oh, it's not too bad.
I'm down to clown.
How many of these should we eat?
All of
I won't give you the textbook definition of trauma. I will give it to you from my understanding. So trauma, one can be
What do patients normally come with when it comes to trauma? Because as someone who's going through this or is experiencing it or is probably unaware of it, you don't even know it is that.
yeah.
So where do you start? When they come to you, what do they come with?
So most commonly, people come with symptoms of not feeling good, feeling sad, or feeling anxious. They are not able to do their day-to-day activities. A lot of them also come with disturbed sleep. They are not able to sleep. They have thoughts pacing their mind all night. So what is there? Like a lot of people, we all go through these phases, right? But if it happens for a prolonged period of time and it affects your day-to-day functioning, like it is affecting your job, it is affecting your relationships, like you're not able to go out. So then generally people seek help. A lot of people come with just youngsters that I have loss of memory. I can't remember. So that itself is a sign of trauma. And when we go into clinical psychiatry, it is a sign of depression. It is called as pseudo-dementia. Because dementia occurs in the elderly. So this is called as pseudo-dementia. So they won't know they have depression. They won't know they have anxiety. They will come with, I have a fog, like a brain fog, or I can't remember things.
And is tiredness part of it?
Yeah, tiredness is a hallmark symptom of depression again. So I'm using these words, depression, anxiety, everything, but our topic is trauma. So trauma is the underlying cause of almost every psychiatric diagnosis. At the base of it will have to be some or the other kind of trauma.
What is trauma? Let's go after that.
Okay, sure. So from what I have understood, dealing with a lot of patients, talking in depth with them. So trauma, one can be what did not happen to you, which was meant to happen. Like for a child, they are supposed to get a lot of love, warmth, nourishment. For some reason or the other, maybe the mother had some mental issue or an absent father. He was working, he was not there. So you did not get those qualities from your parents. So that itself can lead to trauma. It's not necessary some kind of abuse need to happen to you. So that is one spectrum of trauma. Things not happening to you, which you will see all other children around you. Okay, they are behaving in a different way, and somehow I feel the odd one out. So because something was not given to you, right? And then the other aspect of trauma is what we actually know, which might be some kind of physical abuse or sexual abuse or even emotional abuse. So let me put some emphasis on the emotional abuse because it happens unknowingly a lot of times. No parent from the goodness of their heart would want to emotionally abuse their child. What happens is, even they were children, even our parents were children at once. So they did not receive a few things which they were supposed to get. They do not know I should get it. So they do not have it in them to give it back to you. So that will cause some kind of void in the child.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. So their cups are empty that way.
So normally when we say, oh, trauma because a sudden thing happened is one kind, but these are more like, it's gradual, it's repeated over a period of time, and it sort of registers itself. So it registers itself? It remains with you?
Trauma keeps on accumulating layer by layer in the body, in the mind. And it is a very slow process. It is, at times it is so slow. Most of the times it is so slow. People are not able to recognize it. It has happened to them. You ask them what has happened to you. They won't remember. They will be like, no, I'm okay. Nothing has happened. You have to probe deeper. Then they will as a matter of factly, they will state, oh, my mother died when I was a child. But that is okay. Because they are unaware what that has done to them. They are not aware. The first step is awareness.
Yeah. What are the various types of traumas in psychiatry?
So there are two people coming to me. One is having mild depression who has lost his or her mother. And the other one might be going through a breakup. So if we compare both of them, and he might have more depression than the person who has lost their mother. So that can make us think, what is this? This is nothing. How come so much disparity is there? So one is trauma is also based on the resilience of a person. A very small event occurring to a sensitive person may traumatize them. On the other hand, even a life-threatening or life-changing event to a person who is more emotionally regulated, that might not affect them that much. So there are no categories per se, but in the modern day lingo, as we were talking about, they discuss about PTSD, so like complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and there is a normal PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So this I can even talk a bit from experience. Reading is another thing, and facing it yourself. Even listening is another thing.
Yeah.
If a patient says, you just register it logically.
Yeah.
It does not register emotionally.
Yeah.
So it was a few years ago in Bangalore itself, sadly in Bangalore. At times there are a few incidences of road rage and all that. Like people will randomly attack you. I was a student. So I got attacked by someone with a helmet. I was hit on the forehead. Out of the blue, like there were just some discussions going on and that happened. So okay, there was a wound. It was traumatic. All that is all right. I know this.
Like you got hit on the
Yeah, I
head
got hit here. It was a swelling and I had a scar.
with the helmet.
Yeah, I still have a bit of a scar here. So why I am discussing it? Because I experienced what PTSD feels like. Not for long though. So what happened once was I was asleep and I suddenly got up. I felt like someone hit me on the head. And I almost had a recall of the event. So these are the symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. You recall the event, then you feel anxious, and then you feel almost stuck in that state. So your body got stuck in the past. Something so traumatizing happened to you, you were not able to process it. So your body is still stuck there because you just shoved it down. We don't know how to deal with all these things. Like if something happens to you, there are techniques, but hardly a few of them knows. People who go to therapist, only they know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, okay, life has to go on.
Yeah.
So it happened. So we don't process a lot of things. So that is why.
I think for me, the first time I heard about the body remembers, I read this book, The Body Remembers, or I forget what it's called. It's something about
The body keeps a score.
Ha. And I'd gone out on a vacation with a few friends, and one of them was a psychiatrist. And he was talking about how shoulders reveal a lot. Like, and then I started observing wherever I was driving, these bike guys when they're riding, no? I observe their shoulders. कोई ऐसा बैठता है, कोई ऐसा बैठता है, कोई ऐसा बैठता है. You can see how the neck and the shoulder is placed. And a lot, apparently, I don't know, I'm not practicing anything. But then for me, I started observing more. Because the moment I started observing, I started realizing, ये तो हर जगह है. So is it that common?
What this can say is, from my understanding, generally they were talking about the posture. Shoulders, they represent the posture. So if anyone who has self-confidence issues, self-worth issues, you will find they have drooped shoulders and they will look like this. They will be a bit bent forward. And someone who is very confident will be straight. Again, on the other spectrum, someone who has self-worth issues, but they don't want to show it to the world. So they will be like this.
Yeah.
It will be like an exaggerated posture of confidence.
Yeah.
So it will be a show.
Yeah.
They are not confident.
Is it different for women? Because there's also this whole thing of intergenerational trauma.
Okay.
How is it? Is it just for women, or is it like even men? Or
It's for everyone. For everyone. So amazing. Intergenerational trauma is a whole topic on which we can shoot a separate podcast. But we will touch upon it. Some synchronicities led me to this thing of intergenerational trauma. So trauma can come at various levels. Psychiatry does not define trauma like this, to your question, but we can categorize trauma like this. One is what has happened to you in this life, whatever. One is which was handed down to you by your parents. So there are a lot of gifts, qualities, but again, a lot of trauma, a lot of patterns. They do it unknowingly. Also, it is on the genetic level. A lot of things are there. Diseases, everyone knows diseases, how we pass on. So that is that. And then there is one more thing, which is not very scientific as such, but there has been a lot of research done by Dr. Brian Weiss. He talks about that, many lives, many masters, about past life regression. So there are a lot of past life traumas also which you have carried, which definitely cannot be proven scientifically. So this is one way we can categorize trauma, what has happened to us here, what was given to us by parents, and what we have got from the previous lives, because we have been coming here. Then coming back to the intergenerational trauma, which is a lot of research is going upon it right now. So I had no idea about this. There is something called as a family constellation therapy. First I heard of it was some kind of role playing, this, that. So as a psychiatrist, my first reaction was, this is nonsense. Someone told me to watch a documentary on Netflix, which is called Another Self. So it is based on the family constellation therapy. I saw that, okay, I had some insight that it was beautifully portrayed, that some things are there which are handed down from our ancestors. So at times not even by our parents, they are handed down by some ancestor, who was not acknowledged or who was excluded as part of the therapy. So then I was like, okay, there is something to it. Then how I learn and how I trust things is when I experience them myself. Otherwise, I do not recommend them to anyone else. I have to do it myself and see. I don't believe in theories at all. So then I did some online sessions with a therapist. They were good. Yeah, they were good. They caused some shifts. I did not understand how, but there was a lot of shift. So I logically again I could not understand. Then I started reading about it. This was given by a German psychologist, Bert Hellinger. So he had given this whole concept. Earlier he used to do family counseling. Family counselings get like really messy at a lot of times. When they start shouting, they start fighting also. So you are not like a therapist, you are almost like a referee. This has happened to me a lot of times. You have to calm them down. But the family constellation therapy works on an energetic grid. It uses some like you can use the word quantum physics, quantum science. So there is a morphogenetic grid around us, and a lot of things in that morphogenetic grid or energy, which we call in the lay language. So a lot of things are there in it which we are not conscious about. So just before this podcast, I think last week, I had gone for a session of family constellation therapy, in-person offline session. So I used to think online sessions were amazing. Then I attended this, and it was so mind-blowing. What was happening, I was confused most of the times. Like how is this happening? My logical mind could not comprehend it. So there is a therapist. I'm lucky I found a good therapist in that family constellation therapy. Her name is Rom Shri Ashish. She has that Awakening Love Academy. So why am I mentioning her is the important thing. There are a lot of therapists. So would you want to know the details of what happened? Yeah. Because I felt like I was in Hogwarts. It was
like the real Hogwarts.
Yeah, what is this happening? I could not comprehend it. How is it happening? So the concept of it is one person goes with the problem to her, and she keeps it as a blinding. She won't tell what the problem is. So it is based on role playing. One part is role playing, but there is almost an energy grid created in the center. People are sitting all around. So the person whose problem is there, he just goes and whispers it in her ear. She will tell him, you just go and decide like mentally. You don't tell the other person. He will play the role of my father. She will play the role of my mother. Mentally. And she just you have to just close your eyes and just give their role like with your thoughts. So initially I used to think it is acting. So how can a person act? How does and it is done randomly. So they don't know your problem. They don't know who they are playing. It is that kind of blinding
is
there.
It's all in your head and you're sitting there closed eyes.
Yeah. And the person whose problem is there, he's sitting with the therapist. And then the grid starts playing out. So I will first talk about as a role player, what I felt. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what role I have been given. So she will ask, like, seeing this person, how do you feel? I don't know that person. Initially, I was not feeling anything about them. But suddenly, when that grid comes alive, I will feel like I have some pain in my heart, or I feel angry on seeing them. So that was surprising, and I was feeling those emotions, and I was surprised. I was shocked most of the time. What is happening?
You're in the grid. You're away from the grid.
I was in the grid.
Oh, you were
in the grid. I was playing a role. Someone's ancestor or someone's father, whatever it is. I did not know. Then, okay, that is happening. Then you're seeing it all around. Then she will keep a pillow in between. She will not say what it is. Does anyone want to pick it up? So that pillow, later on I got to know, was like a burden, karmic burden or something, which some ancestor had to deal, but they did not. So it got passed on. So she will ask you, does someone want to hold it? So I also went somehow, I did this, and how does it feel? So at times it was feeling so heavy and like I don't want to. It was just a pillow. But I felt, in some grids I felt, no, I don't want this. In some grids I felt it is mine. Because I was playing some ancestor in that thing. So it was not logical. All this thing was almost some kind of magic is going on.
So this is not on any kind of substance or something?
Good question. It was not. That is why I was more surprised.
So it's just regular, you just walk
Just
in
normal.
there and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
the energy
Yeah.
hub is created
Yes.
and you're in the energy zone feeling ancestors' leftover energy or
Yeah.
passed over energy. Wow. Wow.
So then she will do a resolution of that.
Huh.
That will be given to the ancestor which it belonged to. And then you will start, and then you will just go back home. And gradually you will start seeing shifts in your life with your parents, in your relationships.
Are we a very sick country?
You want to talk about the country as such. Humanity is very sick at the point it is standing. A lot of my patients who come, so I see their family. The one who is being labeled as a patient, a lot of times they are the normal one. You see their family, they are the toxic ones. They have the toxic dynamics. And all of them are toxic. So this is what is happening to the society at large also. We have accepted a lot of toxicity into our society and culture. So 70 to 80% people are like that. So the 30% people who are like more sensitive, they are more aware about a lot of things. A lot of times even more kind. I have seen a lot of kind and compassionate people suffering more.
Yeah.
It should not be the case, but sadly it is. So they are labeled as something abnormal. They are the normal ones. 30% I think I have overstated. Maybe 15-20%. So society at large is toxic, and then they expect everyone to just roll with it. So as we were talking, I would like to touch upon that. In the morning, if someone has a physical illness, they have a cast in their hand or leg, everyone will come, they will sign, oh, you take care, you eat this, you do this. But if someone is suffering mentally and emotionally, and they would want to speak about it, so it is said कि no, हमारे घर में नहीं होता ये. Because the society does not accept it. Mental illnesses are still looked as a taboo. Okay, are you mentally weak? So these kind of things happen, and they are expected to just keep on working, keep on role playing in their relationships, in their workplace, as if nothing has happened. So a mental illness or a mental breakdown is like a fracture of the mind, sort of. Not per se, but we can give it an analogy like that. You need a proper space to recover, not be expected to carry on those roles, because it is like a fracture. It is worse than a hand or leg fracture. And then you need a very loving and understanding kind of environment, which sadly is not present most of the times.
Someone who's watching this, first of all, they won't even know that they are going through something.
Yeah.
So you talked about the symptoms that one walks in with, whether it's tiredness, sleeplessness,
Yeah.
Fatigue, anxious.
Yeah.
These are
One of the very
forgetting,
few. Yeah.
right? How do you find whether it's a toxic space?
Okay. So this again, we will start by talking with something which has been coming up since a few years, thanks to the West, I will say. You also would have heard narcissistic abuse.
These days, a lot of
Suddenly it has
content.
just cropped up.
Yes.
It has been happening since God knows when, but awareness has come up. So there is a dynamic which is being played out a lot recently. I also don't know why. Narcissistic versus empaths. That dynamic, narcissist and an empath. So what we can do is we can replace the word empath with people pleaser also. Empath is a word given to feel more spiritually elated and all that. But at the root problem is that people pleaser one. So at one hand is the narcissist. Why then? If you look at it initially, you can just see it as a good versus evil thing. On the superficially, it appears because the people pleaser or the so-called empath is affected a lot. He goes through hell, and the narcissist makes them do whatever they want. They put a lot of pressure, decreases self-worth. But if you go to the core of it. So even the core belief with the narcissist is, I am not good enough. How do they tackle with it? I will be better than everyone. I will unconsciously, they try to pull others down so that they can't be above me. So I feel safe and I feel I'm good enough. I feel I'm worthy enough. Then the other hand, the person who's a people pleaser. So they would want to do things for others always because there is something inside which says, I'm not worthy. Again, that lack of self-worth. I am not worthy enough. So if I do these things for them, if I love them deeply, they will love me back again. So that is the dynamic. Core issue is same. They play out in a different manner. And sadly, the narcissist is a more malignant force. So that is why they are labeled. Otherwise, they are also like broken little children. In a manner. They are more broken. That is why they don't feel, they are so close off, they don't feel empathy while doing something bad to someone, while pulling someone down. They are so shut off.
Yeah.
Once if their heart opens and they're made to feel, they will feel so much pain they haven't, whatever they have inflicted.
Yeah. I had one guest, she's an actress. She's still pretty famous in Karnataka.
Okay.
She said she wants to talk about pain. At that time when I started the podcast, I was like, okay, TK, pain, what do I talk about? So I went and researched about pain. But then she brought out something. The day you're connected with the pain, a lot starts changing for you. And I thought that was pretty, at that time, it was just one statement.
Yeah.
But I think the profoundness of that gradually started sinking into my head. Can you talk a little bit about pain, both from the one who's a victim and the one who's a perpetrator?
Wound is where the light enters you. Pain serves that purpose. It always has. Even in a body, if you will see diabetics, they have diabetic neuropathy, they cannot feel pain. So they get wounds anyway, they won't realize it. So if pain is there somewhere, be it a psychological pain, be it a physical pain, your body is trying to communicate with you. Like, look at me. Why I am in pain? Something is happening here. I got a cut here and there is some trauma here. So physically it is easy to look. Physically, for all physical illnesses, it is much more easier. But mentally, if you feel like a burden, like some psychosomatic pain, which we call generally, it is a new branch of, again, an upcoming branch of psychiatry. So there is a mind-body barrier. What I've learned is from seeing a lot of patients of this psychosomatic pain and conversion disorder. So there is a filter kind of a thing between our mind and body. Again, it is not a physical barrier, but something is there. So if you are going through times of a lot of stress, trauma, if you can resolve it in your mind, if it is like not overwhelming, it gets resolved in your mind and you're okay after a while. But if it is overwhelming for you, you can't resolve or handle it, it starts percolating that from that barrier to the body. So then you start getting some shoulder pain, some calf pain. So in psychosomatic medicine, shoulder pain generally we feel generally is because of someone feeling a lot of responsibilities, like the burden of the world on their shoulders. Calf pain is due to anxiety about the future. Pain is because of a purpose. You're going through something because of that. Even, for example, if we enter a relationship and something very painful starts happening to us in that relationship, be it a physically abusive partner, a mentally abusive partner, or emotionally distant, whatever it may be. So there are two ways of looking at it. One is again pointing fingers. It is easy. People do that mostly.
Yeah.
The other point is looking here. Why have I attracted such a partner? something within me is there. And if you start looking inside and addressing that issue, as we were discussing, people get into a lot of toxic patterns of relationship, especially this narcissist empath thing. So a people pleaser will, till they have realized what is wrong with them, they will continuously start attracting one narcissist after the other. If one goes, you are not healed, you will again attract the same person, same kind of a person. Because something is there inside which needs to be addressed, which hasn't been addressed. And this universal force, or whatever we might call it, divine, nature, God, whatever, it wants our growth. Till that, it acts like a strict teacher. So it will use the scale also at times on us. So this is what is happening to us. It is happening for us, not to us. If we have that perspective, like, okay, I'm not being punished for my sins or rewarded for my good karma. Just be here. Something is here. I need to work on it.
I think for me, 3 years back, I attended this workshop, Sagar.
Yeah.
It's this lady from Japan who was teaching the whole concept of how to listen to your body.
Okay.
Now, I'm not a great listener. I've come a long way, but I was never a great listener. But then when I went to this, was the first time I realized you can listen to your body also. So to your point about pain, that pain is there somewhere. Somewhere in your body you're feeling stuck. And if you really internalize the art of listening, then you can listen to your body. And that requires a bit of breath work and calmness in your process. But in our life, when we are running like this, that's not possible, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that the main reason why we sort of live in it and be stuck in it for years? I've met people who are stuck in it for decades. I mean, I told you, for 25 years, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Till at some point I felt, there's something not right here. So is that normal?
What happens is we work like at a lot of times like machines. We are not meant to be like machines. We are meant to be with nature, in nature. We are away from nature, away from our feelings, just for the grind. That, okay, I have to wake up, I have to do this, I have to do this. It's just a routine. It keeps on going. You don't even realize your whole life passes by like that. So for a lot of people, if they go, I've seen, they go for a retreat or something like that, 5 days, 7 days, where you don't have to do anything. That becomes so difficult, not doing anything, because you want to do something. So then there is a part inside them which keeps on telling them you have to work for your worth. Otherwise, you're not good enough. A lot of people work like that. So once they have that space, we don't have that space in our societies. And it is not appreciated. If someone takes a day off or like that, if someone has a boss, they won't appreciate it. Like, what is this? Gradually, at least in the Western societies, they have been giving them mental health days and all that. So at least it is being acknowledged now. So that is good.
Yeah.
So I would like to, I forgot mentioning him. If someone wants to look at trauma, they should definitely listen and read to more of Dr. Gabor Mate's work. Yeah. He is the leading expert in trauma. You listen to him, it is a different perspective. Yeah. So he is like that, what you talked about. He speaks that he grew up in the time when there was a Nazi war going on. So he's a Jew. So to prove his worth, he wanted to become a doctor, so that even if that invasion or something comes, back of the mind, it is always there. It can happen anytime. Anytime safety, security can be taken away from you. So if I'm a doctor, I can practice. It won't be taken away from me. And then after being a doctor, I have to provide for my family. Whatever things I suffered, they should not suffer. So he also became a workaholic. Funnily enough, I also remember most of my life being a workaholic. Because it is an unawareness with which we are living.
Yeah.
And to escape feeling, lot of us work.
Tell me, what was kind of patterns of patients that were coming to you during that COVID
Yeah.
and post that COVID
Yeah.
phase? It kind of gives you an indicator of like really what went.
What is being suppressed, which was just had to come out.
Yeah.
So during COVID, a lot of the patients who could not make it, a lot of them were suffering from mental health issues. They were having a lot of anxiety. People nearby to them, like on the adjacent beds, were dying. So they were always feeling like, I am next, I am next. So what I noticed is there were some people who did not have that severe a COVID and they could not make it. And there were some people who had severe COVID and they were making it. So because they were a lot more resilient and they did not have any underlying major issues like that. Anxiety in India, I feel people don't know about it a lot. They keep living with anxiety. And then when it just bursts, then they know, oh, I have having anxiety. Other people don't feel like that. It is only me. So that was happening. Then OCD cases increase a lot, obsessive compulsive disorder. So everyone was like continuously washing their hands, using the sanitizer. Obviously that would not happen with everyone, but those who were having some latent tendencies from their childhood, some obsessive compulsive personality issues. So they got into those full blown effects. Then there was something labeled as a brain fog. Symptoms are similar of that of depression, but it was not diagnosed as depression. All the qualifying criterias were not met, and it was again same, like I can't remember things, I'm feeling dull, drowsy, and not feeling good about myself. So it was labeled under brain fog. And also due to COVID, there was a paper. COVID was affecting the brain supply, the blood supply to the brain in some manner. So because of that, it was happening. And one more thing, there were a lot of divorces during COVID period. A lot of it.
Shot up by some 37% or something.
Yes. So initially I had read about it, that it was happening in Japan and China. But then again, post sequelae of COVID is still happening. It is still being carried out. It was not then. It will last for 5-10 more years.
Were you reflecting as you're seeing the patients when you go back home?
Actually, I have been deep into spiritual and mindfulness practices since long. And that is why I took up psychiatry. But I was doing a lot of spiritual bypass. Now I know.
What is a spiritual bypass?
Spiritual bypass is a lot of, especially spiritual people who have been meditating. Low, I can meditate for 2 hours. I can just sit with my spine erect. They do this. They don't want to feel. If an emotion comes, it will be like कि ये तो माया है. This is all nonsense. I don't want this. I want to merge with the divine. I was doing that since a lot of years. And it does not work like that. You can't escape like that. So there are two kinds of people. One are like only focusing all the time on their emotions, feelings. They have no awareness or mindfulness. The other, all those smaller percentages, people who practice all these practices, mindfulness, awareness, they are not all of them, obviously. If a lot of them treat it like these emotions and all are human. They should not be given that much importance. So only since a few years I started learning, oh, there are so many issues inside me also. I did not know that. I was unaware. Even with my hourly practices and amazing spiritual experiences. So this is a kind of a spiritual bypass. I was spiritually bypassing my own emotions, feelings, what I feel inside. So only gradually I have been able to catch up with them, and it has been life-changing.
This whole thing, addiction, is that a way of sort of calming yourself?
If there are hardcore addicts, I deal with hardcore addicts frequently.
Like what kind of addicts?
To start with, alcohol, cannabis, opioid, then also MDMA, methadone, fentanyl. Fentanyl is again an opioid, but it is used much more rampantly in the West. They like inject it. And there are a lot of deaths by overdose due to that. Especially in the West, it has started coming into India also. slowly and gradually it is coming into India. So if you talk to a hardcore addict, I will try to define that personality. A lot of times you will see they have scars either on the face or forehead. They have cut marks on the hand. Not generalizing it, but maximum of them have it because they cut to soothe themselves. Even as children, they started learning that it releases endorphins. So somehow the pain you feel inside is so much, you want to numb it down. So they start by that, and then they get into fights, antisocial kind of a behavior. So even the most hardcore criminal, if you will, you have to take him out, and addiction will be a part of it. A lot of the times they do the most heinous crimes when they are not in their senses. They are like in the drug totally. They don't realize anything. They are in control of the drug at that time. So addiction is a mechanism of not feeling, numbing things down. And what is wrong with if something is making you feel good, why not have it? What is wrong with it? The thing wrong with it is you start getting habituated to it. You start wanting more and more of the substance. After a while, it is not the drive that I have to feel good. After a while, it is like I don't want to feel that bad. Because as the substance and doses keep on increasing, they don't feel good with that. So it keeps on increasing and increasing. And a lot of times it gets life threatening. Then they have diseases if like sharing needles, so HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Then alcoholism is another issue. There is a lot of liver failure, hemoptysis as a symptom it can present, pancreatic damage that happens. So I have seen a few alcoholics coming up to me when it is all done. When they're going through, they won't listen to you. When they're almost on the deathbed, then they will cry, "You save me." So addiction is also a cry for help, always. But what the family and society does is it shuns them. Like, you're an addict, you're the worst kind of a person. They need that kind of help, support, healing, emotional support, and love. So addiction is a disease which has to be treated. It is not something which can be punished, and it does not work like that. If someone is already in so much pain, if you punish them, what will they feel? They will push that down also. They will have more addictions. It happens. It just happens. It is not something they wanted.
Yeah.
But it has happened now. And they are not in a state where they can just move out of it.
Yeah.
It has become a vicious circle. They're going in and in and in again in the substance. So the worst sort of it is like they will steal money. They will commit crimes. They want money for the substance. Also, the bad thing with opioids is for all the substances, though I would say no the first time, but especially for opioids, you can't just try it. You start having withdrawals because opioids are generally secreted in your body as a natural painkiller. So if you take it from outside and then you are not getting enough of it, you start having cramps, pain, and all the withdrawal symptoms. So they have to have that substance. They are in physical pain and emotional pain. It is a very bad state. They will do anything for that. They might even kill someone to just not be in that state and have enough money to have that substance. So you become a zombie-like person with no volition of your own, no self-control of your own. I can only see the substance. How will I get the next substance? From where the money will come? That is all my life is. I don't care what my family, what is happening to them. So this, one of my friend, it is a bit of heavy story, but I would want to share it to so that the gravity of the thing is noticed. He has worked in de-addiction centers in Punjab because the opioid addiction is very bad there. I would not take the name of the place or anything more than that. Just the state. Nothing against the state, but yeah, it is very rampant. Everyone knows about it. All the doctors, all the psychiatrists. So the state is so bad. He told me one of his clients, one of the patients, generally they come for opioid substitution therapy. I'm not getting opioid, so I want some medicine for that so that I feel good. I don't feel that cravings and withdrawals. Generally, in India, buprenorphine is given for that with prescription, and it is a very restricted drug. it can land a person into trouble, even doctors, if not handled properly. So he was telling me the story that just for the substance, he would almost, he used to have like 100 acres of farm and all that. Because of the substance, everything went.
Sold everything.
Sold everything. He came almost on the road. But still, he had the substance. He wanted the substance. He would send his wife with someone else so that he earns money and she earns money and he can have enough for the substance. So I can't even imagine that what has gone on the wife. What is her trauma? It is unimaginable. If given a chance, she might want to kill the husband for what he has made her go through.
This begs me to bring the women part of it, what we researched.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? Women's part is like even more hard.
Yeah.
We were discussing it outside also. In sessions, 7 out of 10 women have some kind of an
Abuse.
incident or a few incidents of abuses.
Yeah.
And is it that bad in your experience? What have you seen with women?
Childhood sexual trauma is very common in males as well as females. But definitely more females have the courage to speak about it. Males do not have the courage to speak about it, a lot of them. They carry it, a lot of them, to the grave.
Wow.
Because in a recent workshop, they were discussing things like that. There were a few people who came out. It was such a painful experience, but they were talking about it like very normally because they were given the space to talk first of all. The female side, obviously we were not allowed, but I heard a lot of shouting, swearing, all that. But here they were just stating it. Okay, this happened to me when I was 2 years old.
2 years old?
Yeah. 2 years, 3 years. This relative was there. He did something to me. They never got an opportunity to speak up. It was their first time they got a space.
This, again, one more of this class I attended on group dynamics. You talked about coping systems earlier and support systems, and
Yeah.
you're now talking about safe spaces.
Yeah.
First, I had understood how group dynamics work. So there's a lot of psychology in that as well, right? Like
Yeah.
one would be, it's not a majoritarian model. It's a small set that sort of manages the dynamics of a friend circle or
Yeah.
an organization or a team. And everybody else just follows because that's the psychology of the rest. Can you talk a bit about the group dynamics and the politics of it? How does that really work? And I want to gradually bring it to understanding what is safe space and how does one create a coping system or a support system
Okay.
for someone who's going through this.
If I'm very confident with my skills, I wouldn't care what the other person is doing. If they are doing better than me, I will be happy for them. But if somewhere I have that anxiety or insecurity that they might get ahead of me, something might happen, I will try to bring them down. And that is what is generally happening. No one wants to harm anyone or anything like that. They just want that, okay, I am better than the other person, so I should get a raise, I should get a promotion. So it is like a rat race. There are no jobs, there is not that much money. So everyone is insecure about their position. So by hook or by crook, they want to be at that place and they want to excel. The easiest way, the best way for that is you keep developing your own skills and you keep progressing. Easiest way is I will be where I am. I will push the other person down. I don't have to do much work. To work on myself is a big task. Not easy. Not everyone can do it. But that anyone can do. You just go gossip here, go pull someone leg there. That is what generally happens in every space. A safe space generally, even that was a new concept to me because I have also always been seeing that. That happens everywhere. It is not like even in medical colleges that can happen. Like a group of people, they will have
Kids.
Yeah. And they will have some other thing. So the society, society is like that at large. Even if you get people who are the most educated or who are the most uneducated, the dynamics work one way or the other. So by a safe space, I mean people who are willing to work on themselves, who are aware of their own issues. Once you know what issues you have, then it is easier for you to accept the issues the other person have instead of judging them. So it becomes almost a non-judgmental space. So things automatically happen. A lot of efforts do not have to be put because everyone wants to get better. And that collective energy, when all of us wants to get better, so it gets amplified. So that is kind of the safe space I'm talking about.
What does a safe space feel like? So for someone who was not familiar with it and now you got exposed to it, what does it feel like? So that, one understands, whoever is watching this, one understands in the name of safe space, sometimes you're not safe.
Yes, yes.
And that's
yes.
the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
So one really understands what is safe space and really is able to call that out and appreciate it.
First, you have to be physically safe because a lot of times, especially people even go to religious gatherings for safe spaces because they feel, okay, I'm going to some kind of a divine thing. So everyone else who is coming there must be having the same mindset. They all should be good people. But sadly, that does not happen. So that is why a lot of abuses happen with faith healers and all that. I've seen it a lot, especially with females. Horrible. They will just let them stay, and they will, especially with psychiatric patients. The sad part of our society is, at least in educated circles, it is not that much. They are getting more aware about mental illnesses. Otherwise, if something like a psychotic episode will happen when they start hearing voices, so patient will feel something has been done to me, some kind of black magic or things like that. In villages, 80% or 90% of them will go to a faith healer. Only then they will come to a psychiatrist afterwards when they see that there has not been many changes. There are good faith healers also. I can't just label all of them as bad. But a few of cases I have heard, they will let the female patient stay with them and say, tell the relatives you go away. And then they will give them something, they will drug them, and then they will abuse them. A lot of times the females don't even remember. They will only remember, I was with him, he gave me something to eat, and I remember waking up the next day. But the body knows, the mind knows, there is an awareness which is always there, that knows. So as you mentioned, yeah, a lot of times safe spaces are not not safe. So even a lot of retreats are there, healing retreats, like especially tantra workshops and all that. This you might have heard that in that Osho commune, that meditation happens when no one is wearing anything. So the idea of that is like very much being comfortable with your own body and with another's body, as if it is a very normal thing. Because the more restrictions are there, the more the mind gets perverted. So that was the basic of it. If you will read somewhere on Reddit or anywhere else, so a lot of males especially, they will just go that, oh, something will happen, something like that. So it is a very messed up mentality because again, it is a very sexually restricted society also. So it is very much shamed and shunned. And we are the most populated country in the world. So we are not getting due to Ashirwad from Babas. They are all having sex. People also should have more information about it, more knowledge about it. So that is what is missing again. So coming back again, so the safe spaces where one is physically, there is no harm, especially for females. Then there is no judgment, because a lot of times, even in therapy sessions, people reveal their deepest, darkest secrets. If you are in a judgmental frame of mind, you will feel, oh, such a horrible human being. At times you don't have to say that. They will understand with their body language and all. Sharing that thing with you is a very vulnerable thing for them. So that if that space is not there, you feel even more hurt sharing. You will feel it was better I did not share. So that non-judgmental kind of space has to be there. Yeah, facilitator should be good for that. Definitely you need a facilitator because multiple kinds of people come and they all have their own issues. Someone wants to overshare and take all the space. Someone does not want to share. So that equality has to be maintained. So things like that. It is not easy.
घर पे कैसे बनाओगे safe space?
घर पे safe space बनाना, some of us have been lucky enough, but some of us aren't. It all goes back to awareness. So even our parents, they feel a lot of times ki I'm the parent, I'm right. You're the child, you have to listen. As and as they get more awareness, see, if we as parents, we have done work on ourselves. So we are more aware at times. We even listen to our children, what they want, what they're speaking. At times even learn from them. So that is how it should be. It should be a mutual thing. We have to teach them and we have to learn from them also. Not easy, again, especially in the Indian society, because it always has been like whatever your parents say, you have to follow them. Some of them really have given good advices and a lot of things are good also. I'm not saying that. But at least 15 to 20% of their beliefs and thought patterns are outdated. Yeah. They have to be. Because even the way society is going, I feel my thought patterns outdated every year after every year. If I talk with someone very young, they also have a lot of nonsense also. I'm not saying all the new generation is bringing all the good things. No, it is not like that. So what the Gen Z, what patients all come to me, what they are doing, a lot of it is good also. They are not conforming to the old outdated norms of the society. But they want to get rid of even the things which are working. Like everything, just burn it all to the ground. Some of them have that kind of mentality. So that also as a society does not work. That is the society which we have copied from the West. So they are just taking things from the West. That is what is happening according to me.
See, when you and I were growing up, Sagar, you had books.
Yeah, correct.
Right? We used to go to libraries, or someone who's well read and well educated, or someone who's grounded in some of these.
Or playing outside.
Right? One of these. Whereas now we are flooded with knowledge.
Yes.
And information. And the scroll mindset, everything is working so that you stay hooked on. We build it, like I come from the technology space. There's nothing we build without understanding the psychology of attracting. Consumerism is all about that.
Yeah.
So we are just doomed. There's no escape from that unless you have a safe space, unless you become aware and accept, and then go through the inward journey and see where's the rat race you're getting stuck with. And so you two are going to become rich, my brother. Career is like full lifetime career, isn't it? Psychiatry? Or am I just reading too much into it?
No, it is.
Huh?
And the mental health issues have started increasing day by day. Addictions have started increasing day by day.
Does something happen in your 40s to your body? कुछ तो हो जाता है, पूरा switch अलग सा हो जाता है. कुछ होता है क्या?
A lot of females, especially now that earlier that period was 45 to 50, perimenopausal age group, which we call. Now that has reduced to the 40s because of our excessive exposure to artificial light, not enough exposure to sunlight, excessive dyes and chemicals in the food, and so our hormonal system goes haywire, and females are more fine-tuned in the hormonal system, so it goes more haywire for them. For males it is still okay, manageable. So that is what happens. With it comes a gamut of symptoms like body, like hot flushes and things like that. So that is there. But if that is not there and something has changed after 40, that is a maturation kind of a process. Gradually you see like, okay, 40 years is for someone who has worked enough on themselves, who are aware enough. By 40 they realize a lot of things, like I have been a fool through my life. Then that realization again comes at 60. Again at your death. But you just have to keep on working, keep on going. It's okay.
I found it very hard to find a psychologists. हजार है कुछ. First of all, I think we need to understand the difference between psychologist, clinical psychologist, psychiatrist.
Okay.
Uh,
Psychiatrists are medical doctors. They do a MBBS, then they do a MD, and there is an MD in psychiatry. They treat with medications. They also do counseling and therapies, but the mainstay of treatment we have been taught is medicines, medications. Then a psychologist is someone who has done MA and BA in psychology. So they haven't actually dealt with patients per se. It is at a lot of times you find them as career counselors and counselors in school. They deal with general human psychology. They have a general understanding of it. Clinical psychology, you have to do a PhD in, and there you have to work with patients. What their issue is. A psychologist and a clinical psychologist cannot prescribe medications. So that is the thing. Because a lot of time what happens is, so I will point out both a psychiatrist and psychologist, especially a clinical psychologist. A psychologist may have their own thing, but patient wise we never send our patients to psychologists because they are not equipped to handle them basically. If a person is having a lot of symptoms, severe, if they are suicidal, if they are homicidal, if they are having hallucinations and delusions where they might harm themselves or someone else, even those patients at times, the families bring to clinical psychologist कि आप therapy करो इसकी. They are not you can't do therapy for them, and it is very risky, first of all. Also on the other spectrum, at times there are very minor cases कि okay 4 दिन से अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, I'm not feeling good. They will land up with a psychiatrist who will start medications for them. That is also okay. If you start medications for some time and then you taper it, 5 years, 10 years, you're on medications. So that is again the bad part of both of which happens at a lot of times. Ideally, a psychiatrist, if they feel like even after putting a lot of my patients on medications, I send them for therapy. Because it is a holistic kind of a thing. Both complement each other. But in the cutthroat market, which is even everything can be a market. I should not say it, but it is.
Yeah.
So if a patient goes to a psychologist, they would not want to send them to a psychiatrist, even if when they feel the patient is suicidal. So a few patients have come to me, and which is like, it makes me really angry. You are playing with lives there. Also, on the other hand, a psychiatrist. So for that, we will talk a bit about psychiatric medications. There are a lot of myths on that also. The biggest myth is lifelong you have to be on medications. There are a lot of side effects. There are a few side effects, I can't deny. Every pharmacological agent has some of the other side effects, but they are life-saving. They will definitely have seen a lot of times, a lot of suicidal patients when being on medications, it has saved their lives. The people who haven't, some of them have committed suicides. They haven't taken the medications. So they're not there. So one is life-saving. And the other thing is, if someone is deep down into deep despair, a lot of anxiety, stress, they cannot start doing the therapy work. They're not in a place to feel all their emotions and work with a therapist. They're drowning. So what the medicine does it, from the drowning, they will get them to a platform where they can start working. So medication in a lot of settings, because we do not have a lot of psychiatrists, as we were discussing, like 1 psychiatrist per lakh, something like that we have. So we are overburdened. We do not have the time to sit with every patient for like 1 hour, 2 hours. If we start doing that and we start charging for that, so there are a lot of people won't be able to afford mental health. Affordability is a big issue. So that is definitely not possible. So medicine is the start of treatment. Once you start the patient on medications, when they start feeling better, then you focus on their lifestyle, what lifestyle they're having. Are they doing any meditation or any awareness exercises, physical exercises? This is a must, and this is a basic. Then you feel more work has to be done, then you send them to a therapist. So it is a combined effort of a psychiatrist and a psychologist. And there are a lot of good psychologists too, which when they understand that the patient needs medication, they will send them to a psychiatrist. But sadly enough, the percentage is low of both populations. There is a Isha Kriya by Sadhguru. So do I have a affiliation for him? Although I respect and everything. But Harvard Medical College has done studies on it. Isha Kriya and inner engineering. So they have done the study on doctors in the doctors working in the emergency department. So it has been found that the people who were practicing it, they were having lesser anxiety and depression scores in the rating scales. So it is very easy and freely available. There are so many tools. A lot of them might be much more better than that. But this I have made a standard. I can just give it out. And I've seen working it for a lot of people. The next thing is if the person says, I can't close my eyes. Because that becomes a big issue. If I close my eyes, I remember things and a lot of thoughts come. So then we can go for breath work. Then the more basic thing is, which I do in hypnotherapy. If I have some hypnotherapy sessions, something which is called as breathing awareness. So it is just placing your awareness on your stomach movements. When you breathe in, the stomach will go out. When you breathe out, the stomach will go in. So basically, you just bring your awareness on that, and gradually you have to give yourself command that when you exhale, your body has to relax. So there are small tools, many tools like that are available. Two of them which are freely available, obviously I've shared.
There is the mind, there is the body, there is a social you, and there is an inner you. No one talks to us about these four.
Yeah.
But when you talk holistic, it's all of these.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about these four aspects and how they come together and how these alternates come to help you in that.
If you would have ever heard of Raman Maharshi, his main teaching was, who am I? You inquire, who are you? So initially I thought, what is this? Who am I? I know who I am. This is my name. This is what I like. This is what I do not like. Gradually, once you start working on yourself, you feel like there are layers to you. The layers which are not you, which are societal conditioning, parental conditioning, who I am, who you are, somewhere down in the core. Here I would like to explain more with the help of internal family systems. I again got introduced to it a few months back, I suppose, and it was a really mind-blowing concept. These things have nothing to do with the conventional therapy. Conventional therapy is CBT. For 5 years, you keep doing it, try to pick out things, very slow. I did not like it. So I was wanting to go for the things which work the fastest and the who work in the most intense way. So in the end, somewhere I have a plan down the line. I started doing all this work, going into different modalities. I did not go with the intent of healing myself or doing something because I did not know I had something wrong with me.
Yeah.
There was not so much awareness.
Yeah.
When you start doing the work, then you feel oh, so much is there, you yourself did not know.
So what all types of therapies are there? What was the most interesting ones?
Okay. First, we will start with the fastest. Let me give you a few sentences about shadow work. So the shadow work is a concept. We have been talking about meditations and spiritual practices, awareness, all that. Shadow work is a concept which the West gave us. Generally, we say that meditation and all, it has gone from India. So that is in the awareness, and they call it light work. And shadow work was given to us by Carl Jung, the concept of a shadow. That there is a shadow beneath us, whatever we repress, whatever we suppress, that starts going in the shadows. And it is not like it is a dark and damaged parts of us. A lot of times good qualities our power, that also gets suppressed in shadows. So once we start doing shadow work, we start revealing parts of us that we have suppressed due to guilt, shame, or anything. We start getting more and more empowered. So the best therapies which are working for that right now is shadow work. So theoretically, the number one modality for shadow work is using psychedelics.
Okay.
Psychedelic assisted psychotherapy, not for recreational purposes, which they take in parties and all. So a study was done and 1 year follow-up was done. So it was found that 1 year of antidepressant therapy is equivalent to 2 sessions of taking those magic mushrooms.
2 sessions or?
Yeah, 2 sessions. But then what is important there is in all these things is setting, and integration.
Okay.
So the mindset has to be that I have to go for healing, not like I have to going in a party and taking it. That can cause more harm. Then the setting has to be there where you are in a safe environment. You are with someone who is a good facilitator and experienced. Then the next path is if someone says, I don't want any substance, I want to go natural. So then there is something called as holotropic breathwork. So I'm training under Father Casey Thomas. He is the pioneer of holotropic breathwork in India. He went and learned under Dr. Stan Grof. So Dr. Stan Grof is a Czechoslovakian psychiatrist. He did a lot of research with psychedelics and psychiatric patients. So what he found is that even when they are given psychedelics, they breathe in a particular amount of way. So then he met a lot of Tibetan yogis, Hindu yogis, and researched a lot on breathwork, discussing with them all. So then it was found that hyperventilation along with some evocative kind of music which the person hasn't heard before, along with blindfolds, and then a sitter has to be with you. So that works wonderfully.
There's a lot of work happening in the gut health space, right? And we always talk about my gut is sick, my gut feeling and all that. There seems to be more and more work around that. Can you talk a bit about the interlock?
So it is a very detailed work. So in any kind of mental illness, invariably there will be some gut issue like bloating, constipation, fungal infection, bacterial infection. Also going the other way around, if anyone is having these kind of infections in the gut, it will affect their mental health. So we also have to go and fix the gut. So for that, as you asked me, I am working in collaboration with Dr. Gaurang Ramesh.
Okay.
He is a gastroenterologist. So he takes care of the gut and I take care of the brain part.
If I were to bring all this together, for anybody who's listening and watching this, first is become aware. Second is acceptance of what you've discovered.
Yeah.
And then third is start the healing process. And the healing process is multifaceted. It's breath, it's food, it's health, it's workouts, etc.
Yeah.
It's being connected with yourself. There are alternatives that you can look at. But if you are facing some of those critical symptoms, then start with psychiatry and go the other way.
Yes.
Is this the right thing?
Yeah, correct.
Well, Sagar, thank you so much.
Most
this
welcome.
has been a very beautiful conversation filled with multiple events of power breaks. But thank you so much. A very important conversation that we had to have as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.